Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, we are back in business, back home, and my little trip to Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kiev. No, just visited some friends, so not too far. And a lot of things happened, but after all, it was expected as long as the Russian military did not take a certain position. I mentioned this before when Prigozhin made some other statements, and so there were some media outlets in the West talking about Prigozhin challenging the Russian military. And I was like, guys, this is so retarded. It's impossible. You can challenge it, but you're going to get a lot of bombs on your head, and they will just flatten you. So, as you probably know, Prigozhin evidently is kept away. That's what's going on with Prigozhin right now. He's kept away by Lukashenko. Lukashenko and Prigozhin were friends for about 20 years or so. It doesn't matter. He's over there, taken away. The Russians stopped the investigation. They dropped the charges. And the military, the Wagner, went back to their territory barracks. From what I read, some of them, if they want and they were not involved in the rebellion, can get into the Russian military. The other ones, I don't know. They're going to go probably and fight for who pays them more, which could be the ones that they, until a few days ago, were fighting. So they might go to Kiev or whoever pays, to fight these guys. Otherwise, probably they will. Some of them might be hunted down. I read a lot of articles from the West claiming that Putin is somehow threatened by Prigozhin. That was stupid from the very beginning, and I mentioned the power. This guy, Prigozhin, was called a mercenary until about 3 days ago, and then when he said, well, let's march to Moscow or something with our 25,000 people, he seemed at one point to be someone's hero all of a sudden, and those were people here. So the guys that called this guy Prigozhin a mercenary, possibly a war criminal and all that, all of a sudden I read that they were kind of like, maybe he's going to take care of the big fish. That was stupid. Why? 25,000 people? Against what? The Russian military? Who in the world can even think about it? Besides, where was the Wagner military, or private military company, located? Where were they? What, about 500 kilometers from Moscow? How do you get your tanks there? That's how you put them on the train and they go by train. That's how you transport the tanks, unless you're in an offensive. You transport them to the line of attack, you drop them over there, you arrange them and you deploy them. The tanks do not come from whatever the line of contact between the Russians and the other side is. They were going to just go towards Moscow. Are you crazy? That's about 500 kilometers. How many months will take a tank to get over there? And you need supply lines and all that. So that's dumb, the first one. Do you think Prigozhin will just get some tanks on the train and just move it over there? How do you transport those 25,000? Motorcade? How many days would it take them to get over there? It's so unbelievable. You say, well, it's not only 500 kilometers. It is. But do you think that you're not going to be hit? Are you going to go by a column? Are you going flying? How are you going to end up in Moscow? And you are only 25,000. And the Russian military possibly could be, about 30 million. I'm just saying if you make a general mobilization. It was stupid, but he is right now kept aside. And Lukashenko spoke with Putin, and that brought Lukashenko from and again, articles, that's so dumb, from articles in the West from that, how they call him, the so self-proclaimed. They used to call this guy self-proclaimed, and all of a sudden they call him a president. Again, this guy, Lukashenko, is going to host Prigozhin for a while. What do you think is going to happen? I just have to remind you this. In one of the interviews, Putin was asked by, I think it was an American interviewer, maybe it was Charlie Rose or something, I think that guy, and asked him, what do you love the most, or what do you dislike, or what do you hate the most, or something like this. and Putin says disloyalty, I think. Treason or disloyalty was the number one. He said, I can't forget or forgive or something like that. Disloyalty. So that you know that this guy, Prigozhin in Belarus, stepped on the wrong toe. Real bad. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. The problem is Wagner Group is very well anchored in Africa. A lot of African countries spoke highly of the competency of the Wagner Group helping to kick out the French and others. So what is Putin going to do to Prigozhin? I think from now on Prigozhin is the guy that is going to conduct his Wagnerites, his company, but he's not going to move left or right. Otherwise, these guys are going to eliminate him. And in the meantime, probably Putin is going to build another one. At one point, Prigozhin is going to have an accident, and then a successful one, because these guys in the West, they have, another one, a CIA something agent, another unsuccessful Russian attack to poison or eliminate. These guys are so bad at their job somehow. But anyway, Prigozhin will be over there like a canary in a little box, how do you call that, whatever it is, and cage, and he's going to be over there and sing to his Wagnerites whatever the guy over there feeds him. That's what's going to happen with, unless somehow, I don't think he's going to be trying to go to the West. I mean, if he goes to go West, obviously he would be charged and then convicted for life for his crimes, right? Unless we just look at his father's side. If you look at Prigozhin's father's side in his bio, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's going to be successful and they will maybe just do this to him. Who knows? I'm just saying. Now, Mr. Prigozhin is that with them. Putin, I'm going to show you about 4 articles here. And I want to show you how the Western media thinks that we are dumb. And for good reason. That a lot of them right there. So, let's go to the first article here. Coming from the New York Times. So it's not like anybody, like me. New York Times, after all. New York Times. Putin's beast that would now devour him. Now, if this would be on the 23rd, I would say, okay, maybe this guy with the military together will somehow do something to the Russians. But this is on June 25th. So it's all done. So this guy is already in Lukashenko's arms at this point, and they tell us here in June 25, which is today, Sunday, that Putin's beast that would now devour him. This guy? Obviously, if he's right here, otherwise he would put Shoigu or something else, somebody else. Now, how would this little rebellion could have been successful? Only under one scenario. Prigozhin, together with a big chunk of the Russian military, will just take over and they would move on Putin. That would have been the only way. And the Russian military probably would have destroyed the FSB or whatever, the security forces, and would probably take care of Putin and others in the same time. That would have been the only chance. Alone, that was crazy. I think this guy might have been under a little bit of something like that. Or some too much because you can't say such a stupid thing. Or maybe it's something else. What if Prigozhin warned us of something like this? I'm not going to give him the title of samurai, so let's put it aside. But if you remember, in the ancient, in the medieval, feudal Japanese society, you have the samurais and the code of the Bushido, the code of the samurai, of the warrior. And over there you had to work for your master, which was a daimyo. Daimyo was like a chief of a county, of a group. He was the chief. And then you have the shogun. So you have the samurai, daimyo, and then you have the shogun. So you work for a daimyo. Samurai is just a military employee. That's it. And the other guy was a lieutenant, and the other guy was a general. Let's put it this way. Shogun. So you would be over there and you have to do whatever your master would tell you. If the master tell you, I wanted to commit seppuku right now, or harakiri, he had to do it. Bam, bam, right there. And that would be a great honor. if he would tell you to do that. Now, obviously, instead of if you were committing treason and he would tell you to do that, there would be a great honor instead of just cutting your head off on the spot like a dog. That's what I'm saying. But sometimes some samurais try to warn their daimyo, their boss, hey, you are in trouble, you're in trouble, if someone wants to kill you and so on. And if he would be ignored too much, he would say, I would request to allow me to commit seppuku harakiri. And if the daimyo wanted, he would say, okay, do it. But the samurai would do that just to show that he would pay with his life for what he really believes in order to save his boss' life. Now, I don't want to say that Prigozhin tried to do that with his own life, saying, you know what, we're going to do this because we want to expose, what did he say many times? That's an elite in Moscow that doesn't know what they're doing. And Prigozhin said many times, Putin is unaware of it. I don't think he's unaware, but anyway. So this is like a samurai telling the boss, hey, those hyenas over there, they want to devour you, they want to maneuver you, and you're not winning the war. And Putin would not listen to Prigozhin. And Prigozhin, okay, then I will do it, I will come over there and destroy the military, not Putin. And remember, why did Prigozhin say that? Because he claimed that the Russian military, the ones that he tries to warn Putin about, destroyed some of his Wagnerites. The US, the Russian military denies that they destroyed these guys, but they will investigate. Or maybe they will, I don't know. So that's why he said, you know what, we're going to do this because you, Putin, are somehow away from all this and I'm going to save you. Obviously, he just sacrificed his life for his boss. I'm not going to go that far, okay? But I'm just sharing this like two parallels, really parallels. Now, this is one. These guys are trying to tell us that Prigozhin would somehow Putin without the army, no chance. And that has to be swift. So that's one article. Let's move to the second article. Right here, this is Yahoo News. This is from Yahoo News. Again, June 25. So it's today Sunday, my friends. So it's not 23 or 22. It's 25. Is this the beginning of the end of Vladimir Putin? What are you guys smoking? This guy with the mercenary guy with 25,000 until the 23rd. They were all drunks. They were all ex-convicts. They were all weasels. They were all rowdy and not good, actually. The Wagner were not good. All of a sudden, those 25,000 will do something, will destroy everything. I mean, really. I mean, you can believe that, but I don't believe it. And I wouldn't give it 1%. 1% success. What was it? Maybe Mr. Prigozhin was supposed to, when he said that and he said that, some others were supposed to jump in. And they didn't. So he remained pants down in a flashlight. What are you doing, Freco? Well, anyway, let's go back. We'll have this one. Well, Wagner boss confirms cancellation of advance on Moscow. It was never an advance. It was just a pretense. Never an advance. There were like three things right here moving on. Okay, if these were the ones right here. Key moments of the aborted Wagner revolt. Okay, I want to see how you're going to go 500 miles. And we can go here to see a recap on this one and breaks down how the private military company attempted rebellion unfolded. So, simmering tensions, we know that one. Prigozhin begins march on Moscow. Late on Friday, Prigozhin accused the Russian military of striking Wagner's field camps. Remember, Prigozhin and Wagner were the only, I think, group that, did not want to sign that little thing with the Russian military. The IMOD quickly rejected this claim as informational provocation. Nevertheless, Prigozhin announced that his forces were beginning a march for justice. How can you even think that you have success with a plan to reach Moscow? From where? You want me to show you a map? I will show you right now a map. Right here. Let me just go to this. Guys, I'm going to go right here to a map. And once this... Alright, this is where the Wagner group is located. And we can't even see where Moscow is. Somewhere far away over there. So this guy do the... Boom, 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 clap, clap, all done. Alright? So, he would go over there. Putin condemns revolt. He said, hey, shortly after Prigozhin declared his march, the Federal Security Services accused the Wagner boss of inciting an armed rebellion and opened a criminal case against him. So, and then he said, well, he showed up, he said whatever he said, and then says, how you call this? Mutinous unit turns back after deal reached. Unit? It's a unit? How many people? 3? So on Saturday evening, Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, who had spoken to Prigozhin on Putin's behalf, of course, it was beneath Putin to speak with Prigozhin, and I think it's a good deal, said that Wagner boss agreed to end his attempt insurrection in exchange for security guarantees. Yeah, are these timed? Like I have a limit? 2 weeks, 2 months, 1 year, 3 years? Anyway, so then the Kremlin said in order to avoid bloodshed, which said we're gonna fuck you up, the case against Prigozhin would be dropped. But it doesn't mean he will not, and that he would leave for Belarus. Putin spokesman Dmitry Peskov added that Wagner members would not be prosecuted due to their achievements on the front line. You know how you go and you hunt them down later. So let's see. Wagner leaves Rostov. That's new, not even touched. This is clean as shit. Can you see it? This is from what? The work over there is clean as hell, right over there. Clean. How do they keep these things clean? When they were not even that. No dust, no something. I don't hear cheering here or anything. I was Prigozhin somewhere. Let's see. I don't see him. But I know there was a lot of pictures with him and all that. So, and let's go back here. Belarus deal to take in leader of Russia rebellion puts him in an even more repressive nation. Oh, here he is. Well, I think he sealed his fate. Unless there's a deal. No, I'm not talking about that deal. Maybe it's something with a longer hit. People say, oh yeah, they had a little scuffle. I don't know yet. I'm waiting. This guy Prigozhin has people in Africa. Who's going to take over them? Because they are over there not only as mercenaries. I don't think he moves without Putin's or the military. And he just didn't he put this in the context of, let's say, as I said many times, Blackwater. No, private military company in Iraq. Let's say Mr. Prince, that's how his name, Mike or something, Mike Prince. He was in charge of that private military company. He would say something, whatever was over there, who the hell was in charge. You know what? We're going to march to Washington, D.C. We don't like something. What do you think would have happened? I think he would not have been gone to Canada or something like that. I think he would have been prosecuted, court-martialed and all that. So, but I don't see Mr. Prigozhin having too many days. I don't know. He's going to get in an accident. But Lukashenko, on the other hand, he's with Lukashenko. And maybe this way they all saved face. Putin saved face because he said, well, we're going to give up, so go back. Because people say, well, Putin's whatever aura of something was diminished. By what? He said, go back or I'm going to give up. So where was the problem? A guy started a rebellion. Again, Putin said, just come over, Red Rover. We're going to give up. What do you think? He begged him not to come? I mean, it's ridiculous. 25,000, 50,000. The Ukrainians cannot come. Do you think this guy comes? And besides, remember, he's got only drunks, ex-convicts, weasels and all that. And all bad equipment. I saw 2 trucks over there, whatever they were. Anyway, my friends, we'll find out, we wait. But it was strange that some media outlets here almost cheered for Prigozhin. I mean, they couldn't, but they were like, there were some Russians in Seattle, Washington, Russian, they didn't call it diaspora, I don't know how they call them, Russian something. Russians living in, looking with hope, like for Putin being challenged or something. So by whom? So let's put it in how these guys are really calling it. And we have a criminal, Putin, and we have a criminal, Prigozhin. And I'm happy that one criminal kills another criminal, so he takes over. Or you say, well, from 2 criminals, we're going to have only one. Is that the logic? I mean, really, I didn't hear much from the American government saying, well, that's their thing. Let's wait. They hoped that the military, and believe me, at that time, a lot of phone calls occurred, US, Europe, and Russia. I guarantee you. Like, I'm not talking about Putin and them. No, other people. Pop, pop, pop. No, not time. Oh, stay down. No, don't move. No, don't activate. No, yeah, wait. How about that? We offer this. You want that? Or we're gonna give you this. Do you think there were not a lot of offers over there? I think there were negotiations between military brass, Russian military brass, and if you know what I mean. If you don't, I tell you, can't. Do you think there was no negotiation? Now is the time to do something to these guys, and you're going to receive clemency. We're going to figure the things out. We're going to put it aside. I'm almost 100% that these guys said, this is the time. And Prigozhin fell, because it seems like the Russians kept the line, the military and all those guys. And Putin is still alive. So, I didn't hear any protests in Russia. Did you hear any protests? Did you see anybody come and say, yeah, Prigozhin? Anybody? I wonder why. Because Putin still has about 80% approval rating, doesn't he? Bad as he is, it seems like he's supported by certain people. And there are Russians, and it's outside of our, how should I put it? Not interest, but it's none of our business how those guys support their bosses and what kind of government. We can like it, or we can, not like it. That's a different story. But as we have our every other day, and they say, oh my God, what you got over there? Jesus Christ, another one. He's like a goalie in soccer. Woo, I'm going to jump. He's Biden. All right, my friends, this is it. I'm going to keep you posted about it, but I think it's all dead. Right now, it's all dead, and nobody moves. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.